YouTube family, does anybody know how the character leaderboards work in ranked for Sparking Zero? Because to me, it doesn't make any sense. I've been bouncing around the top 50 and I just actually started looking at the other stats for the other people around me, and most of them have like maybe 20 games played with the character. Then I started looking a little bit harder and realized I have the second most wins this season with GT Goku. And so I recently got all the way up to A5, so now I think I'm in the top 20. But like even the guy who's number one only has 36 wins. And even if we're gonna go ahead and say like that's passable, the guy who's number 5 only has 15 wins. And so I'm starting to think, I don't know, maybe there should be a minimum number of wins or games played before you qualify. And I get it, like it doesn't matter that much. Only 1% of people even use GT Goku. And that's probably gonna be pretty common for a lot of the characters throughout the game. But at the same time, that's kind of the point. Like if we're the ones that are actually dedicating ourselves to the characters, we would like to actually just see that reflected. And of course, I know that wins aren't everything. You could play 1,000 matches and only win 20% of them and end up being one of the guys with 200 plus wins. So I totally get that. But for me, I'm looking at the guy who's number 2, who has 432 wins. He's S3 and has a 47% win rate. To me, that's far more impressive than 36 wins and a 64% win rate. And there's people in the top 10 with less than 10 wins. So it's like, if we're gonna do that, like just forget it. Like we know that there's tons of characters in the game. If we're going that route, I don't know, maybe just remove character rankings altogether, unless there's going to be some sort of minimum, some sort of like reward for actually being the ones grinding out and like dedicating to the character. There are people in here with 100 plus wins with the character. I feel like they should be rewarded and being seen on maybe a little bit closer to the top, ahead of guys that got maybe 10 15 wins and are just somehow in a higher rank, maybe using other characters or whatever. Maybe there's something about that that I don't fully understand as far as how they're getting like the higher ranks without having a certain amount of games played, but who knows. Is something that I've actually been wanting to talk about because I've been playing it a lot more over the past 2 weeks. When I first got the game, ranked wasn't even on my radar. I even did a video about it and talked about how I didn't really care to play online with other people. This is something that I got to enjoy with my friends, to kind of relive the exciting moments of playing Tenkaichi 3 in the living room with my best friend. And so that's what I did. It wasn't until recently that I've just fallen into one of the deepest, spaces of depression that I think I've ever been in my life, and really needing to get away from some of the thoughts in my head that I was having. And so I started playing Sparking Zero, and a lot of my friends have been busy, other things going on in their lives, so I've started playing ranked. And I'm actually happy that I have played ranked kind of at my lowest, because it gives me an opportunity to really give this game like what would probably be my most harsh criticism, because I might be the most intolerant, right, of just any type of unsatisfactory, distasteful experience. But I've honestly been able to still get on here for hours, win, lose, or draw. But I did want to talk about what I think is one of the biggest issues with ranked and Sparking Zero, but not just Sparking Zero. I think this is something that is across the board in fighting games in general. And it's the fact that you really get to kind of cherry pick your opponents when it comes to ranked. To put it plainly, people avoid as much competition as possible in ranked. When they really feel good about the matchup, if they have a really good round, they'll fight that person again. They'll try to make sure that they get those streak bonuses and move forward and be able to move through the ranks a little bit faster. And I think what happens is this creates kind of a bit of a rank inflation. So when they actually feel any hint of competition, even if they win the match, they may win, but it might be a very close match. And now it's decline and moving on to the next person. And I'll admit there's a part of this that is a little bit of bitterness in me. I'll admit that, because I grew up in the run it back era of gaming. And you can call me an old head if you want to, but the run it back era of gaming was all about the confidence that I can continue to provide more evidence that I'm better than you. I'll play you again, I'll run it back, all those different things. And if ranked is supposed to represent what I think ranked is supposed to represent, I feel like some element of that, right, should be present in the experience, but it's kind of not. And because there's no like set amount of games, or there's no like lock ins when it comes to a particular matchup, maybe, the first two games are a lock and the third game is optional. I think that was on one of the Mortal Kombats back in the day, which I thought was cool. And so the question becomes, what is the purpose of ranked? Is the purpose of ranked win optimization? Or is the purpose of ranked, these are the best players at the game at this current moment? I think those are two totally different questions. I think cherry picking your opponents. Oh, I don't like this matchup. I don't like this character. Ooh, this guy's getting too close to beating me. Man, this person has figured out my bread and butter or my go-to move. I'm gonna move on and try to find somebody else and try to find a better matchup. Maybe some people would think that that's skill. Maybe some people would think that that's the intelligence of picking your battles, right? Living to fight another day. And so again, it brings about the question, is ranked about win optimization or is ranked about displaying the best? Because if you're always looking for an opportunity to not position yourself to go up against the best, then, that's a whole different conversation. I will probably never be higher than maybe like A3, if that, because sometimes I run into some players that I think are extraordinary. And man, I drop rank points just to really test myself, really see where the gaps are, go up against these guys, challenge them, like see if I can leave an impression on them to say, man, like that dude, I beat him, but man, that was one of the best B3s that I've ever played against. Like those are the type of things that are a little bit more rewarding to me than just trying to pick the most favorable opponents every single time. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been some times where I've said to myself, I'm not getting off until I get up to this rank tonight, and I'll be on the game for hours, and I finally get there, and me and that person went in a grueling match, and I barely pulled it out. And so, yeah, maybe I get off without running my rematch for the guy because it's just like, I want to get some rest. And there is that feeling in there, like I might not win that next matchup. And on the social side of it, I think that's kind of part of it too. Like people that try to get on their high horse after they win and talk a big game when they know in their heart, like they're terrified of running it back in the event that they might lose and not feel like they have the bragging rights in them anymore as a result of the loss. And to be honest, even as I make this video, I think I'm actually starting to lean closer to ranked literally just being about win optimization. People just want to see their name up at the top and that's all that matters. And maybe when it gets down to showing off who is the best, that's literally just the professional scene. The tournaments where you have double elimination and you're running first to 3 or you're running first to 5 and you're doing bracket resets and all of those things, right? So maybe those are where the true tests are supposed to be, and maybe ranked is just supposed to be about look how cool I can look, and I'm just gonna optimize for wins. I'm gonna favor the matchups that get me as many points as possible and going from there. And even then, it feels like there's kind of a misplaced power in just letting everybody cherry pick all of their matchups in order to show up higher on those ranks and kind of inflate what those ranks are. But I have loved playing Sparking Zero over the past couple of weeks while I've been in this state of depression, and it has helped me keep my mind off of a lot of things. One of the things that I did say when the game first came out, that I was excited for kind of this period right now. All of the people who are on Sparking Zero right now are the people who want to be on Sparking Zero. Right, the hype train, the people that were just on for content, the people that were just on for drama, to have something to post on their social media accounts, to figure out if it's better than their favorite game so they could hate on it. Just all of those people, for the most part, have moved on to other things. And so now it's just a bunch of people who just want to enjoy maybe the game from their childhood, or maybe they picked it up. Maybe Sparking Zero was their first opportunity to get into the series and they actually love it. But all of the extra bullshit is just kind of gone. And so, yeah, am I winning all the time? No. are the lobbies packed where I'm just constantly getting into matches at lightning speed? No. But I am able to sit down and enjoy this game for hours, even playing with strangers online now. And so that has been my experience and it has helped me a lot through what I'm going through. So if you like this video, like it. If you think someone else might like it, share it. And if you want to see more, I really hope that you would subscribe.